I was 28 and 6 months pregnant when I decided, against my better judgment, to visit my parents' house for a weekend barbecue. My husband, Ryan, was away on a work trip, and my doctor had just cleared me for light travel. I thought maybe, just maybe, this time would be different. That they'd treat me like more than the family punching bag. That they'd see the growing life inside me and remember I was human. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments, from where are you watching this video? I was wrong. The moment I stepped onto the porch, my sister Kelsey rolled her eyes and muttered, "Oh, the drama queen made it." She was leaning against the railing with a drink in her hand, fake lashes and fake concern. She never liked that I got married before her, that I moved out, that I wasn't trapped in their toxic web anymore. Mom greeted me with a flat smile. "You look bigger. Are you sure it's not twins?" she said with a snide little laugh. Dad didn't even look up from his lawn chair. "You sure you should be waddling around without your husband holding your hand?" I ignored them. I had learned how. I took a deep breath, placed my hand on my belly, and walked into the backyard with the calm I didn't feel. The rest of the family, cousins, uncles, neighbors, mingled around plastic tables. Music played from a dusty speaker. The grills smoked. And Kelsey, in her usual self-centered way, made everything about her. Her new job, her new boyfriend, her new high heels that were so uncomfortable. When someone asked how far along I was, she scoffed and said loud enough for the group to hear, "Well, I give it a year before she's a single mom. Ryan's already halfway out the door, I bet." Laughter. Actual laughter. I said nothing. But when I got up to grab a glass of water, that's when it happened. I passed Kelsey on the way back to the table. She stepped in front of me, pretending not to notice, and bumped me hard with her hip. I stumbled back, grabbing my stomach. Then she laughed. "Oops," she said. "Didn't mean it." My heart stopped. I felt a sharp pressure across my abdomen. I blinked, trying to process what had just happened. "I said I didn't mean it," Kelsey repeated louder, this time turning to our parents like she was the victim. But I saw the smirk. I held my belly, terrified, trembling, and looked to my mother. She sipped her wine and said, "Oh, stop, Kelsey. You're too rough sometimes." Then she looked at me. "You always overreact. You're pregnant, not porcelain." I couldn't believe it. I looked at my dad. He was still sitting there, grilling meat like he didn't just witness his daughter assault her pregnant sister. "She said she didn't mean it," he muttered, flipping a burger. "Stop trying to ruin the day." The pain was real now, tight, sharp, low. I didn't care if they thought I was dramatic. I didn't care if they thought I was ruining the barbecue. I pulled out my phone and called 911. As the operator answered, I said clearly with my voice shaking, "My sister just kicked me in the stomach. I'm 6 months pregnant. I'm having abdominal pain. I need an ambulance." Kelsey's face turned white. My mother's wine glass dropped, shattering. "What the hell are you doing?" she shrieked. "I'm making sure my baby's okay," I said. Within minutes, I heard the sirens. Everyone suddenly pretended to care. My mom started shouting to the neighbors, "It was a misunderstanding. She's hormonal." Dad said something about how this would look bad for the family. The paramedics rushed in, checked my vitals, and helped me onto a stretcher. One of them turned to Kelsey and asked, "Ma'am, did you physically touch your sister's abdomen?" "She's exaggerating," Kelsey shouted, her voice cracking. "I didn't mean it like that. It was a joke." The lead medic didn't blink. "She's pregnant and reporting pain after contact. The hospital will document everything." That's when the officer arrived. I watched from the back of the ambulance as they pulled Kelsey aside to speak with her separately. For the first time, the tables were turning. She wasn't laughing anymore. And my parents? They didn't follow me to the hospital. They didn't call. They didn't text. But Ryan did, and when he heard what happened, he took the next flight home. When I came home from the hospital, with the baby still safe, thank God, there was a letter taped to my apartment door. It was from my mother. "You've humiliated the family. We were trying to have a nice day. You've always been sensitive. This is why Kelsey succeeds. She doesn't make everything about her." I tore it in half and blocked every number they had. I wasn't going back, not with my child. not with a family that laughed when I begged for help. 2 weeks passed, not a word from my parents, not even a, "How's the baby?" Not even a, "Sorry." But it didn't matter, because something else happened, something Kelsey never expected. The police followed through. They took my hospital records, my statement, and the witness reports from 2 neighbors who'd overheard the commotion. And just like that, Kelsey was officially charged with aggravated battery of a pregnant woman, a felony. When the court notice arrived at her condo, she posted a teary-eyed video online, sobbing that her sister was trying to destroy her life over a little accident. She called me unstable, claimed I was jealous of her, claimed I stepped into her space. But the internet didn't buy it. Because someone, probably one of the neighbors, or maybe even a family member who'd had enough, leaked the 911 audio, my voice trembling but clear. "My sister just kicked me in the belly. I'm 6 months pregnant." It went viral. People reposted it with captions like, "Believe pregnant women." Moms flooded the comments calling out Kelsey's cruelty. Medical professionals stitched the audio, warning about how dangerous that kind of trauma can be. Kelsey's carefully curated image started to unravel. Her boss saw it. Her boyfriend saw it. Her PR internship dropped her to avoid reputation risk. Mom tried to defend her online. She wrote under a comment, "My daughter is pregnant and emotional. It wasn't assault. It was a misunderstanding. Sister's roughhouse." One user replied, "Roughhouse? She could have killed that baby." Mom deleted her account. I didn't say a word publicly. I didn't need to. The courthouse was cold. Not physically, the heating worked fine, but emotionally. It felt like walking into the belly of everything I had survived but never truly confronted. Kelsey stood across from me at the defendant's table, no sparkle left in her eyes, no smugness in her posture. The courtroom's fluorescent lights revealed every flaw, and not just in her face, in her soul. She looked up once as I entered with Ryan holding my arm. I was 8 months pregnant now, huge, exhausted, sore, but steady, because I wasn't walking in there as the family scapegoat anymore. I was walking in as a mother, a protector, a witness to truth. The judge was a stern woman in her 60s. No nonsense. She reviewed the file for a long while before calling the case. Kelsey's lawyer tried the usual. "It was a family misunderstanding. There was no intent to harm. The incident has already caused irreversible damage to the defendant's reputation and employment." But when my turn came, I asked to speak directly. I stood slowly, adjusting the strap of my maternity dress. Everyone watched me, but not like before. This time, I didn't shrink. I straightened. "Your Honor," I began, voice clear. "My name is Grace. I'm 32 years old, and I'm the oldest daughter of the people who laughed when I cried for help." I looked at Kelsey, but she couldn't meet my gaze. "I didn't come here because I wanted revenge. I came because no one else in that backyard said stop. Not my sister, not my mother, not my father. I was 6 months pregnant when she kicked me in the belly, and when I said it hurt, they laughed." The room was still. I've lived my whole life being told I'm too dramatic, too sensitive, too extra. But you know what I've realized? That's what abusers say when they want you quiet, when they don't want you to make noise about the pain they're causing. I'm not here to ruin my sister's life. I'm here to protect the life inside me. I stepped back, heart pounding. Kelsey's lawyer didn't speak again. There was nothing left to say. The judge cleared her throat and leaned forward. "I've reviewed the medical records, the 911 call, and the statements. This was not a misunderstanding. This was assault, and the victim could have lost her baby." She sentenced Kelsey to 2 years probation, 120 hours of community service, mandatory anger management classes, and most importantly, a permanent restraining order. Kelsey was banned from contacting me or my child and barred from family events if I was present. A cold, hard line drawn in ink that couldn't be erased by fake apologies. My parents weren't there. Not in court, not in support, not even in denial. They had completely chosen their side. And that was fine. Because the next chapter of my life had already begun. When my daughter was born 3 weeks later, I named her Lena Joy because even after everything, she was the reason I still had light. She was perfect, whole, and wildly loved. The delivery was long, the recovery tough, but I held her every second I could. And when Ryan looked at her for the first time, he cried harder than I'd ever seen him cry. He whispered, "She's ours, and she's safe." I nodded. That night, as Lena slept against my chest, I got an email from my dad. One sentence. "Kelsey didn't mean it, but I hope you're happy now." I blocked the address without replying. No flowers, no visit, not even a birthday card when Lena turned one. But do you know what I had instead? A wall in our home covered in photos of Lena's first laugh, her first crawl, her first steps. And in the middle of that collage, a giant black and white portrait I took myself. Me and her, forehead to forehead, smiling like we'd just been handed the whole world. I framed it in gold. And in the corner of the frame, I engraved, "We weren't cropped, we were cut free." And that's how I left the family who never protected me by becoming the woman who would do anything to protect the child they didn't believe deserved to exist. They mocked. They kicked. They laughed. So I called 911. And I never looked back. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.